Hey everybody, happy Saturday. So it dawns on me that, you know, with everything going on in the world, a lot of people are having to do different things as far as their careers. They're having to branch out, they're having to go back and redo what they normally wouldn't have to deal with. So they're reapplying for jobs, they're reasserting that they're able to get a job, and that takes a lot of confidence. A lot of people don't realize that. And I just want to say to the young ones, and I'm talking the 20s, the early 30s, I'm not old, but I'm not young anymore. And I can tell you, this life is hard. But please don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't do something. And the reason I say that is because you can. I have done more things in my life than I realized I had done. When you get older and you start looking at your resume, look at the amount of skills you have, not just the jobs and job qualifications and the achievements you have individually. Think about every single thing that you have done at that job to help execute that job. That's a skill. And of course, they're going to repeat over time, they're going to overlap over time. But there are a lot of skills out there that you wouldn't think needs to be on a resume that you may want to think about incorporating. Now, only of course, if it's something that you're going for, a field that you're going in. But don't sell yourself short when you look at your resume and there's only 2 jobs or there's only 3 jobs. Because I guarantee you did a lot on those jobs. Another thing to not be, you know, discouraged about is when people don't encourage you. Some won't. But don't let that deter you. Um, Try to not keep that from, don't let that discourage you. But also understand that people do have their own lives, and sometimes they get caught up in their lives just as we get caught up in ours. You have to remember to motivate yourself every day. If it takes reading the Bible, if it takes reading scripture, if it takes calling a friend, a parent, a neighbor, a best friend, talking to your dog, whatever it takes, motivate yourself. If it means looking forward to your favorite snack that day, or looking forward to the happiness of going to see your grandchildren, and even though I'm 40, some of us actually are starting to have grandchildren now. You know, whatever makes you happy, whatever encourages you and motivates you, use that. It's okay. Um, if looking at podcasts is something that encourages you, then do that. But make sure it's something that you can look forward to. And that in turn will actually help motivate you more to do the things that you need to do. But don't be discouraged, but always understand when you're in your 20s and 30s, you think you got all the time in the world. And I'm not even 40 yet, and I still feel like I got all the time in the world, but I don't. Life is so short. So please make the most of it. But don't let people discourage you from doing something. If you want to go out and go to medical school, you go to medical school. Find a way. There are government stipends, there are things going on, there are grants out there for people with red hair. You just have to really dig for it. There are grants out there for specifically for moms. Go out there and see if you can find them. Write those essays. Get those grants if there are grants out there. And it doesn't always work that way. Understand that sometimes you may have to have a dream deferred. It happens all the time. Sometimes it's God saying that not yet, that's not for you, or wait, or it's on its way. But sometimes dreams do get deferred. It's okay. Sometimes you have things that come up in life that will defer your dreams. Things that you can't avoid, you can't get around. Finance is a very big part of that. But also understand that it is not too late. Even though life is short, as long as you have breath, as long as you're able to keep going, sky's the limit. You can go back to school in your 30s. You can go back to school in your 40s. Don't be discouraged. You can do this, and I will always encourage you. But don't be discouraged by people that don't encourage, and don't be discouraged by yourself. Find ways to motivate yourself. And if you're going through a depression, especially with COVID and things like that, find someone to talk to, a professional, whatever you may need to do, so that you can get past it or at least try to overcome it, so that you can be your best. It's okay to go find somebody to talk to. But I need you to understand, you think you got all the time in the world, and all of a sudden, you 20-year-olds, your knees don't work no more. You can't drop it low no more. Simply picking something up off the floor is like, oh, what is that? Why does that hurt? And it's slow. It's very gradual. You young ladies, I'm telling you, if you want kids, it's okay if you want to wait. It's okay if you want to have them early. Don't let anybody tell you either way. You just strive and do the best you can. And be the greatest moms and greatest dads too that you can. But just know that time does not wait for anyone. So if there are things you want to do, find a way to do them. And don't put them off just to put them off. Have valid reasons and then overcome those reasons. Because life is very short. We've seen that with the pandemic. But don't let the pandemic keep you from living. I have been guilty of that. Don't do that to yourself. Life is so short. You can do that thing that you want to do. I don't care what it is. You can do it. And I wish I had me when I was young me to tell me that. You can do it. And I know sometimes people will tell you can do it and you still don't believe you can do it. But you can do this. You are capable of a great many things. So please keep in mind that you can do anything. You really can do anything you put your mind to. Just be mindful the time is short. But also be mindful that as long as you have breath, it's never too late. Y'all have a wonderful Saturday.